Welcome to Tejano Time Podcast, where we celebrate the music, culture, and traditions of Tejano music. Thanks for joining us as we sit down with the biggest names in Tejano music. From legendary artists to rising stars, we will talk about their latest projects, share stories from the road, and maybe dive into history and heritage of Tejano music. So grab your favorite drink, sit back, and enjoy this episode of Tejano Time. Here's your host, Keith Leal.
Welcome to another episode, guys, right here of the Tejano Time Podcast. Good evening to everybody out there that's got us tuned in. That's right. And to get everybody ready to go. That's right. It is a Monday evening, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in once again to everybody who's logging in right now as well. Don't forget to share the live. Got another great show lined up for you guys this evening. To everyone also that's tuned in on Tejano TV as well. Thank you so much for all your love and support. We appreciate you guys out there tuned in. So if you're watching on social media, YouTube or Facebook, share the live, guys. Today, I would like to welcome to the show, of course, my co-host back today as to Amanda Cisneros. Welcome back, Amanda. And also a great band, a great group from up north, man. We are talking about Grupo Motivo, making some noise. Got a lot of great music out as well. And you're going to hear all about it right here during this hour. We've got to talk it up with these guys, man. We got to Aaron, Rick, and también also Rolando. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Thank you for having us, Keith. Thank you for everybody who's logged in right now and who supports Tejano music, especially podcasts like this, where we're able to talk a little bit about what we do, a little bit behind the scenes. And so, thank you, Keith and Amanda. And I know Tony's not on tonight, but also shout out to him and everybody who's part of the Tejano Time podcast crew for making stuff like this happen. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Yes, an honor. It's such an honor to have you guys here to share your music with the world out there. Again, we spoke offline as well about a lot of great topics as well. They will cover some here during the show también. So let's talk a little bit about where you guys are from, okay? So it's a split.
Here we go.
It's a bit, it's like a pie, you know what I mean? A couple of pieces here, a couple of pieces there.
Yep. So I'm Rolando Revilla. I'm the founder of Motivo. But I'm notorious for letting the guys know that this isn't my band, this is our band, right? Because I want them to feel a sense of pride in what we do, right? Because we hold ourselves accountable for what's ours, right? But anyways, I digress. The band was started in 2016, and we were all musicians out of Toledo, Ohio, but life happens and some guys, went on to pursue other things or, but the current lineup that we have right now, there's only two guys that reside in Toledo now, and the rest of them are in Michigan, Lansing, Michigan to be exact, and Lake Odessa. Aaron, there is from Lake Odessa. I'll let Aaron talk more about that.
Yeah, I'm the accordion player for Grupo Motivo, and I am from Lake Odessa, Michigan, which is a small rural town somewhere in between Grand Rapids and Lansing, right in there.
Okay.
The melodica player.
Yeah.
The melodica player. We have a little inside joke. We call him the melodica player because when we upload music to our streaming platforms, we're big on putting credits because, back in the days of albums, you could look at the liner notes and see who played what. So we try to put in all the information. The one instrument that is not on there is accordion. So the closest instrument that we could find was the melodica. And if you guys don't know what the melodica is, it looks like a little keyboard thing that you blow air into, but that's essentially what an accordion is. It's you blow air with the bellow and you play the keyboard side, right? Or the treble side, the buttons. So I did the idea of okay, I'm just going to put them down as melodica. People will get the idea. And these guys were like, what's a melodica? And so now that's the ongoing joke. Aaron's like, well, I guess I play melodica for Motivo.
Yeah,
awesome.
man.
And Aaron's been with me out of this crew the longest.
Okay.
You know, the accordionist, and then Rick, and then
Yep.
of course the other guys who some of them wanted to be on, but of course some of them you know, are either working tonight or, you know, have other things going on. But shout out going out to the very cool, the very awesome. All three of them are Joey, Ruben, and Javier. Joey plays bass. Ruben plays drums. Javier plays guitar. But actually, I'm kind of jumping chronologically here because Rick joined after Aaron did,
Okay.
and
Yep.
Rick.
So I came from Texas. I was born and raised in Texas, and I just recently moved up here to Lansing with these guys. I was actually retired for a while from music, and my wife was like, "Were you thinking about getting back into it? There's a lot of great bands up north." And I said, if I ever get back into it, I'd need to see if Rolando's doing anything. Because I had heard of Rolando way far before I had moved up north, and but yeah, I moved up here north and got with Rolando, and been with him for, I guess, what, 3 years? Going on 3 years, 4 years actually. Now that I think about it, yeah, it'll be
Time's
4 years
going by
now.
super
Yeah,
fast, dude. It
yeah.
really is.
So yeah,
Yeah.
So y'all did come together and making great music at that. Coming. What part of Texas are you actually or from?
so I'm part of Texas, West Texas, the
West
Panhandle,
Texas.
Lubbock, Texas is where I'm from.
Okay.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Love it.
I,
Texas.
Lubbock, Texas. Yeah,
Lubbock,
but no,
Texas.
born and raised in a little town called New Home, but it's just just a little south of Lubbock. But yeah, that's where I originated from, was Lubbock.
Awesome, awesome. That's actually where our co-host Tony is from
Yeah,
as well. So he's
I
Oh,
love it.
really?
yeah, he's
Oh,
from out
wow.
there. So hopefully he'll get a chance to watch this episode. I'm sure he will
Yeah.
after the fact. But yes, let's talk a little bit about. Oh, again, it came out. Well, we've got some people already chiming in. So that's right. Jay Kodak Bettis did say what part of Texas. So he answered that question already there for him right there.
Oh,
Uh,
actually, it's okay. Yeah, my
Go
bad.
ahead. Go ahead.
No,
No,
no, no. I was
you're good.
reading. Yeah, I was confused there for a second, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to go back. Wow, dang, we did forget a bunch already. So
Oh,
yeah,
hey, Anita's on there. Hey, shout out to Anita. Thank you
Oh,
for
yeah.
coming out this weekend. See you.
Wow.
She comes to quite a few of our
Yeah,
gigs.
yeah.
yes,
She always supports us when we're out there in Holland, Michigan. We just
Yep.
are fresh off of that gig, uh, and that was fun. Good crowd, good energy.
Yeah, look, John Martinez.
John
Yeah.
Gabriel
What's
Martinez right
up,
there.
John?
Martinez.
Yeah, Lubbock representing right there. And Mr. Petey. What's going on, Mr. Nola?
That's a Grupo Superado
Yeah.
right there, man.
Yeah.
Amazing dude. Great guy as well. So
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yes, Anita is on there as well, and she's over in well, where is she? She left a big message here. There she goes right there. Hello from the 616 of Holland, Michigan. Shout out to the whole band for a freaking amazing performance. There you go.
thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
So, yeah, it was fun seeing all of our friends out there in West Michigan. You know, whenever we go out there, they roll deep, and so, you know, we were just happy to be out there with our racita that, you know, that likes to dance to Tejano music out there. And
Yeah.
you know, there's a lot of us out here in the Midwest that, I mean, there's a lot of bands to begin with in the Midwest, but people who
Right.
actually support it, there's a big following, you know, and
Yeah, which
Hmm.
is amazing. Which is amazing. And again, we're going to get down to your sound. The sound that you guys have compared to what we have down here. Everybody's trying something different just to stay afloat. It works for some. Some it sounds terrible. Sounds like crap. You know what I mean? But I mean, I'm just going to be honest because we get stuff every day. Within the radio and whatnot. So we know it's either trash it or play it. One of the two. So you got to take a listen to it, and being in the business for a while, you have to have an ear for it. You don't just play it because it's new and it's a new artist, but stick to your roots. A lot of people like to stray away from it a little bit and try something new. Again, it'll work for some, but it ain't gonna work for all. And you guys have a sound there, just like a lot of the other bands that are from up there as well. That they have that Texas style, well, that Tejano style, punch where it's just keeping it all traditional.
mhm.
And that's what I
And
like about you guys, about the group. It's we're gonna get to it. We're gonna play it, and people are gonna listen to it in a minute if they haven't heard it, but they should have because your music is being played down here on quite a few radio stations. También, if not, you guys can always hit these guys up, and they will take your email down or whatnot and ship the music out to you guys right now. Jonathan V. Jimenez is in the house as well. Saludos, Jonathan. Thank you for watching, buddy.
Jimenez. What's going on, bro?
Yeah. Bobby Castañeda as well on YouTube says, hello, everyone. Rolando, will you be making any more Tejano keyboard videos?
I hope to someday, but I've been really busy with Motivo and producing some other stuff, and that's something that I guess is part of a different conversation for another time. But and I guess the Tejano keyboard thing is really another conversation too. So I won't get off on too big of a tangent, but for people who are wondering what we're talking about, is that I have a desire to educate, or at least as much as I can. So I have a YouTube channel that's dedicated to tutorials on how to play songs on the keyboard for Tejano music. And I have a website. We develop software and stuff like that. But anyways, that's what Tejano keyboard is. So if any of you guys, a shameless plug, if you guys are wanting to learn how to play keyboards and stuff, I do private lessons and stuff like that. So check out TejanoKeyboard.com. And or that handle Tejano keyboard on any of the other social platforms. But anyways, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Motivo.
Motivo, yes. And Amanda is waiting in the wings right now with an arm full of questions.
I am.
Oh, here we go.
I am. I'm antsy, y'all. I love to ask questions. When I found out that we were interviewing you guys, of course, the first thing that I do with anybody, whether I know them, whether I've heard them or not, is I go and research you guys. I want to know where you're from, what you're about, what type of music you have. Your music is amazing. I was sitting at work, they don't know what I'm listening to, right? I got my headphones in, I'm jamming out. It's amazing. So going back to, saying you guys have a unique sound. It's almost like you saying Texas Tejano, but it's different. I don't know how to explain it, but it is a little bit different. It's unique for sure. How does that play a role into the music that you make? You're writing the music. How do you try to keep to your roots, right? But still make it to where it's unique for Motivo?
Well, here's what I'm going to say about that, is that I've heard a lot of people say that the Midwest has a sound and that it's different from Texas. But if I'm being completely honest, we're just trying to sound like Texas.
We're just trying to sound like Texas.
Let me explain why. What I'm talking about is that there's a stigma in the Midwest where it's better if it came from Texas.
Of course.
And so people will be like, you guys are just a local band. You guys don't sound as good as band XYZ because they're from Texas.
They're from out of town.
Yeah, they're from out of town. And I'm thinking to myself, well, do the laws of physics stop to cease to exist outside of the border of Texas? Like, does music just naturally sound better? Is there something in the water or something that, and so like, that's all we did was nerd out and say, hey, why does Mas sound like Mas? Why does Jay Perez sound like Jay Perez? Why does David Lee sound like David Lee? Because when we play out live, we play some of our original music, but the majority of the time, because of our limited repertoire, we're playing covers, and people expect that when they go and see us, that they're gonna, hey, can you guys play that one song, Gary Hobbs? We this past weekend, somebody asked for something by Gary Hobbs, and we just pulled it out because that's what they wanted to hear. So if you're asking us what is the Midwest sound, I think it's a homogenized version of Texas Tejano. Like it's like a little bit of all of them, a little bit of Gary Hobbs, a little bit of Ram, a little bit of Jay, a little bit of Ricardo Castillo, and a little bit of, everybody, Emilio, I don't know. Do you guys have something that you guys want to contribute as far as that, Aaron or Rick?
Yeah, what I was going to say about, I have heard that the Midwest has its own sound. But one thing I was thinking about when you made that comment is Rolando works with Texas artists, so some of his productions, it's on the radio wave. So, I don't know if anyone would know if that came from out of state. So, and then going back to what you're saying about who we are and how we sound. I don't think we're trying. We just sound the way we sound. I don't know if there's thought put in to try to what we do just comes out.
Yeah.
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 And also, like, I want to kind of like not to put words in like anybody's mouth, but like you can even hear it in the style of drumming, the way Ruben plays, or in Joey's bass playing. Like, they have other, or even Javier plays bajo a certain way and he plays guitar a certain way, because these guys hear other things and they get influence and they bring that to the table. So it's just like, yeah. And like Aaron was saying, like, yes, I've been blessed enough to work on some productions for some big names. And when people hear that, people aren't saying, hey, that sounds Midwest. People always say, hey, man, that sounds like classic Tejano. So maybe that's the answer. Maybe our sound is classic Tejano. It just,
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much what I had on the top of my head. You know what I mean? It's some good old, good Tejano style music,
Yeah.
Going back to what's happening nowadays, which is great. Again, it worked for some, it doesn't work for all. Tell the audience out there a little bit about what you guys have produced and worked with alongside, because you had some big names, También, that you have done some producing for recently as well, and some great albums as well.
yes. Well, yeah. And so not to take too much time from Motivo, but yes, we did. Actually, there was a song that was actually a Motivo song, and we kind of at the last minute switched out Rick's voice and put Jay in there, and but the song that was supposed to be a Motivo release called "Me Vas a Extrañar," that was on the Jay Perez El Patron album. And so Ruben and Joey, our rhythm section was basically, they were on that track. But we put Fabian on there from Jay's band. Well, he was with Jay's band at the time, and Tony was on guitar. But like, we even had dummy tracks with Aaron playing accordion and with Rick singing, and some of those parts came out. And so some of it, you hear it and it's Jay, but it's Motivo, and not a lot of people know that. I mean, not on all the tunes, right? That one's the one clear example where it's like you hear it, and that one has like its own sound, right? But right now, currently, my other producing partner is Fabian Hernandez, who is currently with Ricardo Castellón y La Diferencia. So the last two singles that came out are from his Renacimiento del Phoenix album, and that one is coming out soon. But anyways, so yes, as of recently, Jay and La Diferencia. So thank you to those involved in those projects for allowing me to be part of that, and arranging, mixing, mastering, and whatever. But bringing it back to Motivo, the same level of care that I put in on say something for La Diferencia or for Jay or for whomever, is what I try to do or not I, but what we try to do as a band. As a matter of fact, some of our before, it used to be, I would arrange things and then hand it to the guys and have them learn it, right? But we're trying to kind of turn things around and see what it would sound like with everybody's input, like in the writing process. So now we're trying to come up with stuff that's that sounds even more unique, more individualized to Motivo, because we're getting everybody's perspective, instead of like saying, hey, this is what we think people will like, or what Rolando thinks people will like, right? Instead of, hey, let's put our heads together and say, hey, this is what Motivo is, let's see if people will jive with it, right? And still staying true to that sound, right? Like rancheras and cumbias, and like keys, accordion, sax when we can, you know what I mean? That's our sound,
Yeah. Awesome.
So you have more questions, Amanda? I'm sorry, we just kind of go off in tangents.
No, that's fine. This is what we do. We go and we talk, and everything leads to something else, which is great. So I know you guys have mentioned that you're in different places. Rick, you're in Michigan, right? Yep. You, right?
I'm from Michigan.
Toledo, Ohio. So y'all are from different places. How does that work with practicing and getting together? I know you said you have a platform that you put your music on. I think we had this question last week with the band we just interviewed. They were kind of dislocated in different areas. How does that work for you guys, and how do you make it work?
Well, we try to stay busy enough where we stay in regular practice, but also not so much that it impedes our lifestyles. Because out of all the musicians, I think I'm the only one that does music solely as like my, I'm a working musician, but like the other guys have kind of do Motivo as kind of like their secondary thing or like a hobby. You know what I mean? As a lot of other musicians do. So it does pose a little bit of a hurdle of sorts. But man, we've practiced in Aaron's basement, we've practiced in Rick's basement, we practiced in Ruben's basement. I'm sure Joey would
practice.
Yeah, we practiced in the studio here at my spot. Yeah, we've so we do it. We try to at least we've been talking about wanting to get together at least once a month to kind of brush the dust off of things and maybe upload some stuff to YouTube just to kind of stay relevant. And even if it's a cover, even like we just recently did like a Moss medley, mistakes and all, just here, like we're just having fun, just putting it up there. And and people liked it. It got a lot of views compared to our other videos, or at least for the short amount of time that that it's been out.
Awesome. So give me a little bit of background on yourself, Rick. Prior to joining Motivo, what was your background with other bands?
Yeah, so I used to sing lead vocalist for Grupo Stampede. I sang with them for I want to say about 8 years. After Alex retired, I think they had Jorge Zarate for a little while from Grupo Lazo, and then I kind of had some things happen in my life that lined up, like they say, the moon and the stars aligned, and things were able to work out for me to start with those guys, Ray Cifuentes and Richard Cantu and Miguel Ortega, all those guys, great guys. Was really the first true taste of what, Tejano kind of mainstream on the road, you're gigging Thursday through Sunday, and just about anywhere. But before that, I used to be in a band out of Lubbock called Grupo Milagro. And that was back in, I think, early 2002 to about 2004, and had some decent accolades. That's actually where I met the guys from Stampede, through that band. And then years kind of went on and did a lot of local stuff, and then like I said, they gave me the opportunity. And then I retired from Stampede, and I use the word retired, but you get to use the word retire when you get on the road and
you retired without benefits, right?
Exactly. Yeah. No. Yeah. But when I left Stampede, and I was out of the music business for, I'd probably say 2-3 years, just not doing anything, and we had decided to relocate. And when we relocated, like I said earlier, Rolando had helped Stampede one time when we had played up north, up here in Michigan. I think it was in Michigan, or maybe it was Indiana. I can't remember where, but it was up north.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I met Rolando. And from that time that I met him, like, I was, because like y'all talked about like the whole stigma and, oh, you're from Texas and everything, the musicians are, the best musicians and this and that. And then we get up here, and short notice, this guy steps in and doesn't miss a beat. I mean, plays everything and kills it, right? And I'm like, who is this dude? Like, where did he come from? And he's there plugging his album. I remember he had his album too that they had just finished. And I was like, man, I need one of those albums. So anyways, fast forward, we get to moving up here and getting contact. And again, just, the moon and the stars are aligned in perfect position. And just coincidentally at that time, Rolando was looking for a vocalist. And I said, yep, I'll do it. So we were in a transition period actually too, for maybe that first year. Like my wife had already moved up here to Michigan, and we were trying to get myself situated with, something up here. And just really wasn't nothing that was going good or anything like that. So for about a year, I was flying up here to do the gigs and all of those good things. And Rolando was the one that actually kind of got me started on, hey, well, if you buy this certain setup for a studio, like we can still record, man. We can make this happen. And I'm like, yeah, I'm down, dude. It's, I ain't doing
Yeah.
nothing else. Let's do it. So that's kind of where the history for me went, and where I'm at right now. To talk about like the sound thing that you guys are talking about, and I've told Rolando this too before, like this group of guys, it's I played in a lot of bands and a lot of good bands and a lot of great musicians, that I've got to share the stage with. And there's something there when you play on a stage with guys that know what they're doing, have had the experience, and can achieve the sounds that they want to achieve. And I think that's what's special about Motivo is whenever you hear these guys and you hear us, and I say these guys, I mean us. When you hear us, we're able to create that sound that makes it unique because the chemistry is first and foremost great. We have guys that aren't there just to play a Maz medley or aren't there just to record a bass track or a drum track. We got guys there because they want to be there. They love this. There's passion there, and
Right.
and I think that's what comes out of our sound, and that's what makes us sound unique, because it's like Rolando says. I mean, I, we just try to make it sound like what Tejano sounds like, what we know and what we felt and what we grew up with. That's
Yeah.
what we know what Tejano is, and so that's what we try to achieve. And when you're doing it with brothers, I mean, it's you're never gonna fail.
Yeah.
One
It's
thing
something.
that I always tell my guys, like, not to go off on another tangent, but like my love language is words of affirmation. So I'm always telling the guys how much they mean to me and how much I love jamming and making music with them, like genuinely. Like at the end of every show, I'm just like, dude, like I love you guys like brothers. Like you guys are like family to me, and I love making music with you guys because that's the one thing is that music is something that's kind of intimate. Like, you try to explain it with people, like people think, oh, they're just up there having a good time.
Yeah.
Yes, but it takes a certain chemistry to make something sound a certain way. You know what I mean? And I think, knocking on wood here, we've got a pretty good lineup of musicians, and I don't mean that in from a technical standpoint unnecessarily, although they are all fantastic musicians. But what I'm getting at is that a musician knows what the part needs, right? And so they're all team players. I love them all. They mean so much to me, and I thank them every time that we do a gig because without the guys being team players, man, there is no team.
Yeah. That's true. Very talented. Just surrounded by a group of guys that are very talented as well. Like I said, you guys can just jump on stage and they throw you a song and you guys just go up there and jam. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much. You were doing Fandango USA, this past weekend, right?
Right. Yeah.
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 Wow,
Yeah,
amazing.
somebody requested some Fandango USA, and it wasn't La Charanga, so we had to,
Yeah.
we had to put our heads together and say, "How did it go again?" And we've all heard it before, and that's the thing is that, and so I'm gonna put Rick on blast here.
Oh, okay.
Go for it.
Hey, okay,
Yeah. Yeah, that was something that, yeah, that's a great story right there.
so here's the
Yeah.
thing: here in the Midwest, we would collect all sorts of albums. And there was this album that came out around 1995. There was a compilation album called Tejano Mix. I don't know if y'all have
I
heard of
think I
this,
remember
right?
that. Yes.
But
Uh-huh.
it starts with like it was all the Sony artists like La
Yeah.
Mafia, Jay, Ram, and it'll start with para toda la gente que le gusta la música, 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 música.
Yeah.
And you hear
The
the
Mafia
accordion
cut.
on you hear the grito, and Tejano Mix just right for you, and it does all that. So we grew up
Woo,
listening to that,
awesome.
and we can quote that, and we were all in the car driving somewhere, like in between, like we were after sound check on the way to go get food, and
Uh-huh.
somebody was streaming something, and they put that on, and so we started singing along to it, and we all knew all the like all the little DJ stops and all that stuff when they and I mean they're like
Awesome.
you know, and we're all and Rick's looking at us like, how y'all got the memo and I didn't?
Yeah, yeah.
To get it is that here in the Midwest, we like would like, I know it sounds funny, but we would nerd out like that was the like we would geek out about so and so has a new album or so and so has a new whatever, and we would play because we didn't have radio up here back in the 90s, you know, so we would listen to the CDs until that CD was done, until the next album came out of the next artist, and we would listen to it from top to bottom. So when somebody says, "Hey, play some obscure song by Fandango USA," okay, we got it. Remember how this kid 1, 2, 3, da da da.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And that was the first time I had heard that mix, and Rolando explained that to me. So I think that gig or the next gig, I ended up throwing that DJ scratch in there in the actual live version.
We cover Ben I mean.
I mean, yeah. Everybody just turned around and looked at me like, "What are you doing?" I'm living in the moment right now. All right.
Don't judge me. Look away.
Listen and don't judge.
Exactly. That's what it was. It was one of those moments.
Well, let's get a little background on Aaron there. Aaron, you're no stranger to the business as well. You've been doing it for some time.
Yeah, I've been doing it. I've been with Motivo since 2019, so 6 years. I've been with Rolando, but prior to that, I actually wasn't with the band. I used to roadie for a Midwest band, Tejano Sound Band, which would be my great uncle and my other great uncle, Johnny and Richard Vasquez, were the co-founders of Tejano Sound Band. And I was actually a roadie for them back in the day. And that's where 2000, the band started much before that, but maybe 2012. And I actually really didn't start playing accordion until I'm somewhat of a late bloomer, about 20 years old. So I always kind of messed around with it until Rolando went on to start Motivo, and he inquired like, "Hey man, do you want to give it a go?" And I had never been in a band. I know how to somewhat play, but never formally in a band. So Motivo is really the first band I've ever been in. And I like to tell these guys it's the first band I've been in, and it's the only band I'll be in.
Awesome.
That'll work.
So because like I said, I'm a little bit younger than these guys. I'm not way younger. I'm not even that young, but I am a little younger than these guys. And this group of guys is the best group of guys that I've seen this band have yet. So, and we've had other members who I'm still friends with, awesome musicians, but this is my favorite combination of guys. I wish the other guys were here in the chat with us right now, because I look at it as like I'm fortunate to be with these guys, because the rest of the guys are Joey and Ruben Herrera, the Herrera family from Lansing. Mm-hmm. Super talented musical family, just a lot of musical, talent within generations of that family. And Javier alike. I mean, these guys are they're all just really top-notch seasoned guys. So I looked at it as like I'm lucky to be here with these guys, and
just a little piece of talking to you guys. The dynamic seems like it's pretty chill. It's pretty laid back. It sounds like you guys have a lot of fun. Just the little pieces that I'm getting, the dynamic of the group sounds really awesome.
Well, we appreciate that. We do, and we do try to keep it light, and we try to joke. I mean, and I don't even think we have to try. It just naturally
just happens.
Yeah, like we'll quote movies, and somebody will know what movie we're talking about. Like we're all on the same brainwave. Like a good example, one line that I always say with our drummer Ruben, because we're the same age and we think like the same way. He'll say something and he'll be like, you know what, I think that, and I'll finish what he's saying. He's like, get out of my head. And I'll say like, you get out of my head. You know what I mean? Or even like Joey, like even if you watch that video of the Moss Live, like Joey and Ruben are actually nephew and uncle, right? But they're close in age, so they more like, I don't know, cousins or some, you know what I mean? They're real close. But when one guy starts doing something, the other guy starts, and you'll see they'll look at each other like, okay, I know what
They're
you're
vibing. They're vibing.
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
Yeah, they
you
played
know,
together prior, so
yeah.
they're locked in.
Yeah, they're locked in. Javier too, man. Javier will look at, he'll hear a bass run and he'll do it on the guitar. He'll want to follow the bass on the guitar, and so it's very much like improvising on the spot, and sometimes it's not smooth sailings all the time, but it's like you said, we're vibing. It's about the vibe, and as long as the people are out there dancing and having a good time, and it's about the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When we started Motivo, we wanted to make sure, because like I said, there's a bunch of Midwest bands and they're all great. Like, I mean, they all sound like Texas bands, I think. You know what I mean?
I think there's something to be said about how many good musicians there are in the Midwest. I mean, the Detroit area, the Saginaw area, the Grand Rapids area. I mean, I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but Adrian, Lansing, there's something to be said about the Midwest musicians. And I'm not saying that because I'm from the Midwest.
But when we started Motivo, the one thing that my wife, who I want to shout out, my wife Bianca, and my son Ro, who's probably off to bed now, but one thing that we said is like, hey, all these bands are basically essentially doing the same thing, and us included, right? What are we going to do to separate ourselves from anybody else? So we paid more attention when we started that, we bought a screen, we bought the lights, we bought the because we want it to be like a mini Signo or a mini Intocable, like when people come and see, you know what I mean, it's about the experience, about the vibe, when people you can have a great group of musicians in a dark corner in the bar and say, hey, they sound pretty good, but we're at a nice light show and you're playing all the songs that people want to hear and they're dancing and we just get enveloped in the emotion of what it is that we're doing. It's music, but with a layer of icing on it.
It is absolutely. And that's what people want. People want to go someplace and I always use this phrase, and I just had this conversation this past weekend. They want something that's social media postable. They want an Instagram post. They want a Facebook post. They want to be like, I was here, the lights, the stage, the band was amazing, but the feeling and the vibe, it was just off the chain. It was an amazing feeling. Makes you just want to get up and dance and makes you want to be a part. You feel like you guys are out there putting on a show and you're involving the people who are there, your fans, the people who went to see you. And I think that's what people want nowadays. They know you guys, they see you guys on their shows and things like that. So when you put on a dynamic show, an amazing show like that, for them, they leave that place, because I've been there and seen an amazing show and I'm left like, wow, that was amazing. Right.
And if you think about it, all the memorable, the bands that, and I'm not trying to throw shade or anything at any Texas bands, but the bands that people talk about the most, at least here in the Midwest, are the bands that travel with their own production, right? With their own show, right? Because people will try to cut corners sometimes and just come with whatever musicians, and the people around here, they know that hey, that's not the drummer that plays in that band. Because like I said, they nerd out, right? So if they bring their own band and their own production, that's why people, remember Signo, they remember Intocable, they remember Elida, they remember, you know what I mean? Well, even Joey Jimenez and those cats, they're starting Loca Pasión, and they've got their whole production and lights and stuff, because that stuff's important, right? Because it just is. It's part of the experience, you know what I mean? If you want to listen to just music, well, then put on some headphones and go for a walk. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Experience something. If you want to dance, if you want to feel the energy with other people in the room, then you have to create something that's conducive to that energy and to that environment.
Absolutely.
Very 100%. I agree with you, man, on that. Some good stuff right there. We're going to take some more, chime in here and see who we got watching right now and some comments that we got, and then we're going to go play a video before we run out of time. We got 20 more minutes, so we're still good. But Anita, we want to give her some credit, man, because she says she just got her hotel reservation for May performance over in Illinois. Shout out to Miguel Franchini for supporting and promoting Tejano as well. So.
Shout out to Miguel Franchini and
awesome, Anita.
Yep.
Yes.
So we're going to be performing alongside of Adriana, and she's great, and also Dina, thank you.
Dina.
You like our medleys? Oh, thank you.
Yes.
We appreciate that.
We also got Omar Hernandez.
Omar, what's going on, Omar?
Let's see, we got some more people on YouTube here. What's up, guys? Good work, Primo.
Hey,
Sonrío.
my cousin Mario. Well, my wife's cousin Mario, but he's my cousin too. My wife and I have been together for 20 years. Well, but married. It doesn't matter. Hey, what's going on, Chench? A little shout out going out to Crescencio, who is actually one of the former members of Motivo. He sang with us for a short while, and man, I can't say enough about that guy. He's a great singer too, man. He's right now with Los Hermanos. He does a great job with that band. If you guys haven't heard of Los Hermanos, be sure to check them out for sure, man.
Actually,
they're really, really good.
I've heard the
They
name.
jam.
I was speaking to another guy down here who works closely with a lot of bands from up there from the Midwest and whatnot. And he had mentioned that to me on here. He says, you got to get these guys on your show, Los Hermanos. I mean, they're really good. I'll let you listen to their music and whatnot. So I have to reach out to him and get that there. But awesome product right there. That's what Miguel says también. Let's see. We got
Thank
some
you.
more out here. Thank you for keeping our Onda progressive.
Oh, we appreciate that so much because that's what we like, man. We like it progressive. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. Aaron being an accordionist, I'm sure we all like our fair share of conjunto. I'm a big Bone Mauricio fan. Like, being a keyboard player, I know that sounds weird, but I like me some Bone Mauricio. But yes, keeping it progressive, keyboards, jazz chords, that sort of thing. That what makes la onda, you know what I mean? What makes Mas and David Maris and all those cats, Latin breed. What makes it that?
That sound right there. Midwest has a lot of talent. Is what he's saying there. Your cuz there.
Yeah, Mario.
Jay
Yeah.
also says, I'm a pretty awesome. She goes, I am pretty awesome and I have my own sound. Thanks for noticing this.
Another Jay Pettis.
Yes.
Anita has here. She says here, do the other band members of musical degrees in music, or so? Oh, well, if you guys, any of the members have any degree in music or self-taught?
I'm still figuring it out.
Yeah, I think we're all figuring it out. I'm not sure what kind of training the rest of the guys in the band have. But I know that like they're all generational musicians. Like like I said, the Herreras, they have a family band too called La Corporación, and there's been
45 years.
Joe Herrera's in that band. From Jaws to Flipper to even our bass player plays with them once in a while too. But Ruben played in that band at one point too.
Yeah,
but
they just celebrated 45 years of.
Yeah, those guys have been together for 45 years, in one iteration or another. They just celebrated it this past weekend. So that's what I'm saying. Like, Tejano music is not a new thing here, man. It's just part of like, I think to us, Tejano music is just like eating beans and rice and tortillas.
Yeah.
Like, it's
in
like
the it's in the blood. That's it.
Yeah, it's
normal,
nature, right? Like it's just like you eat Mexican food and you listen to Tejano music like that.
That's it. It's a way of life.
I mean, I grew up in Michigan. I'm born in Michigan, and that's how it's the lifestyle that my parents brought up.
Yeah, down here they'll eat a Mexican plate, but with green beans. You know what I'm saying? Basically, what we're trying to say is about the music-wise. You know what I'm saying? They have to do something different. It just doesn't go. And it's again, it's just it's going to see if it works. So it happens, and it's happening a lot. So we'll see where it goes with it down here. But let's jump on one of the songs right quick, and I'll jump in. Most of these comments that I have here on the screen, we will definitely throw those during the video as well before we get out of time. But we want to go back and see what we got here. We got a couple of videos that we want to share for all the fans out there, all the viewers that are watching the show. Some of Motivo's music. Your latest single right now is
Agradezco.
Yes, that's the latest, right? That is the latest one. So we do have that video that we're going to play right now. We also have another one, Tú lo sabías.
That's
but we'll get to that
Louis
one. We'll play that one first right now, and we'll get some scoop on the production when we come back. All right, guys. So hang
Sounds
tight.
good.
We'll be right back.
Yo sé que fue mi error en contarte mi pasado, así todo lo has reprochado y ya no quieres más mi amor, mi amor. Y yo sé que te morías por mis besos y mis brazos. Ahora todo es cosa del pasado. Discúlpame, mujer. Te agradezco por las horas y momentos de amor, esos días de mucha pasión. Y te agradezco y te pido perdón. Los besos, abrazos que me diste, y me duele porque te perdí. Si eras todo para mí. Yo sé que te morías por mis besos y mis brazos, y ahora todo es cosa del pasado. Discúlpame, mujer. Te agradezco por las horas y momentos de amor, esos días de mucha pasión. Y te agradezco y te pido perdón. Te agradezco por las noches, los besos, abrazos que me diste, y me duele porque te perdí. Si eras todo para mí.
There you have it, guys. That is it. That is it. Are you all right there, Amanda?
I'm good. I was jamming out. Y'all, I don't know if they can see me, but I know you can. I'm back here. Shoo!
Yeah,
I'm like,
some
is it
good
Friday
stuff.
yet? Can I go out and dance and drink yet? No?
Yeah.
Yes, it's only Monday. Relax. It's gonna be all right. Yeah. So yes, that was the good stuff, man. Good stuff. We had a lot
It's
of great
Friday somewhere, right?
response.
Or wait, how does the
Somewhere.
saying go?
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right?
5 o'clock
beer,
somewhere,
beer
right?
30 somewhere.
I got everybody over because I'm live on TikTok. I got everybody over here like just dancing in their shoes over here on TikTok. We having a party on this side.
Oh man.
And
Yeah,
Gabriela
and-
Salazar also says amazing musicians. I want to add that in there. Another great artist right there. Out of New
thank
Mexico
you.
también, Gabriela Salazar. So, saludos,
Yeah,
Gabriela.
Wanted to send some musical shout outs too, going out to
Yeah.
La Familia Ortiz. Saw John was in there, and also La Familia Aldaco. I saw Yolanda was in there, another musical family from Michigan. Also, shout out to, I think I saw, maybe it was a different, but also, there's a bunch of musicians that.
Yeah, Joe Jimenez was in there too.
Oh yeah, Joe
Yes.
Jimenez.
Yeah, I
One
want
of
to
our-
send a shout out to a good buddy of mine I saw in the chat just now, Albert Garcia. He's back in. I can't forget about those bands, Mighty Texan Band and Sueño. Those were some Texas bands that I played with back in the day, starting off. He was also the lead singer for Tejano 281 there. for a
Okay.
while,
Okay.
Albert. So yeah, really good buddy of mine. Shout out to my dad and my brother, Joe Torres and Joe Torres, the Joe and the Joe, and
Yes.
all the musicians out there in Lubbock, Texas. Really, really great guys. So yeah, just want to send a shout out there to those people.
There we go. And with a big shout out also, I think I posted this one already, but I forgot to send it out. Matthew Bernal Jr. there from Tejano Outlaw Radio as well. Got us tuned in. So thank you so much, Matthew, for tuning into the show as well. Yeah, so everybody who's tuned in right now, thank you so much for tuning in right here. Everybody over on also Tejano TV. Grupo Motivo is here. The music is available, and it's available on all digital platforms also. So go look them up, guys, and add it to your playlist. It doesn't get any better than this. Jesse Villarreal también. Saludos, guys. Guys, you know Jesse Villarreal, right?
Yes, shout out going out
Hmm.
to Jesse Villarreal in Florida.
Yes, Florida.
Saludos.
Yeah,
Yep.
so another talented guy right there. Just put out some music as well. So great songwriter, by the way,
Big
as well.
Mark.
También. Yeah.
Mhm.
So we got Gil Cervantes also from conjuntonation.com, DJ Gil, watching the
Nice.
show as well. Thank you
Welcome,
so much, Gil.
welcome.
Everyone that's tuned in. So if you guys
Aaron,
have
did
any
you say
questions,
something?
go ahead. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
Big Mark and Ajar.
Oh yeah, shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
Grupo
those guys.
Deseo in the
Oh
house.
yeah,
Yeah, Grupo
Oh,
Deseo.
Grupo Deseo. Yes. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
there he
Awesome.
is.
I'll be calling these guys after the show, though. I need to get a hold of these guys right here
Yeah,
as
man.
well.
Mark
So
Najar,
Awesome band.
Yeah.
yeah, awesome band. Grupo Deseo, man. Shout out going out to Dave and those guys.
amazing, right there.
Yeah.
We also got the Mr. Joseph out there. So what's up, Jesse? Joseph
Hello, hello,
Jimenez.
welcome, welcome.
And what's up, Mark? And we also got Mr. Joe right here, man. Some
All
plays
right.
with Bobby Polido. He's out there tuned into the show. Always tunes into the show, man. Saludos, Joe. We appreciate you,
Awesome.
man.
Awesome. Thank you.
So yes, anybody else have any questions for these guys? Feel free to drop them in the comments box, and we'll get to them here. But in the meantime, getting back here to Grupo Motivo, tell us a little bit about what you guys got up and coming right now. Anything cooking up in the lab? Any music? Or maybe some more videos on the way that we can be excited about.
Yeah, we're trying to stay regular with our posting and stuff. At least more regular than we have been. We're trying to do some collaborative songwriting for our next tunes. You know what I mean? And we talked about this off the air, but like before, we would get songs from songwriters, and they would give us these songs, and of course, myself being the producer, I would listen through the songs and see which ones I thought would fit the band. But as of recently, I became part of a songwriting collaborative where we have a bunch of different songwriters, and we write songs. And so now I've kind of got the itch to incorporate Motivo into that thing now. And so yeah, we're gonna try to write some stuff, and we'll see how that comes out. We'll see if people are receptive to it or not. There's no plans on releasing it as of right now, but once we get but we just actually in December, which is still a while ago, but we released this video, the Te Agradezco. So that's the latest single that we've been pushing, a song written by Luis AG out of Monterrey.
Okay. Very
And
familiar with that guy.
yep. So he wrote the song, and we arranged it and performed it, recorded it, and yeah, those are the guys that you're hearing right there. The guys that are the ones that are jamming on stage. Except that we did have a special guest on that recording, Fabian Hernandez, of course, my producing partner who plays saxophone, did the saxophone work on that tune.
Wonderful. That's some good stuff right there. So, guys, again, it is out there and it's available. Joe Leal says, saludos desde Chicago. He'll be seeing you soon, Rolando. That's what he says there. And I'll be seeing him and talking to him on Thursday on my radio
Yes,
show.
Thursday night.
Awesome.
Yes. So another artist from up there who's doing great things también as well. A lot. And we have another one coming up next week here on the show. So we're doing a lot of artists from the Midwest in these past couple of weeks. And it's not over. We got a couple more. So it's going to be awesome. The sale is going to be in the books también. So yes, saludos to everybody out there. So you guys can get a feel for what these guys are all about up there. You know, we're bringing that sound right now to our podcast this couple of weeks, this month, should I say, because we've got probably about a month of shows. that have these guys up there from the Midwest. And right now, it's all about Motivo. So yes, definitely looking forward to some of the new music you guys have out there. Anita says, does everyone in the band speak Spanish? I know other bands have members that don't speak Spanish. I find that interesting.
Well, I speak Spanish. Spanish was my first language actually, and then lo dejé because growing up in the Midwest, you spoke mainly English,
Yeah.
and so lo hablo un poco mucho, pero sí te entiendo y pues
Exactly.
I can speak it. You know what I mean. And I can write it a little bit and stuff. It might be a little bit Chicanoized, but hey, me entendiste, ¿verdad? I asked Rick. I said, "Hey, Rick, you sing in Spanish?" And I like the way he answered.
I said, "Do you speak Spanish?" He said, "Do you speak Spanish?" And I said, "I don't speak Spanish." I said, "It's all phonetics." I said, "No, I just memorized the words." I said, "I'm muy excited."
No, this is what he told me. I said, "Do you speak Spanish?" He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I know enough to order a taco."
Yeah, and that was gonna be my next line too. Was I know enough to go order at a restaurant.
Right.
No,
Definitely.
But no, just like Rolando, no, I mean, it's your first language, especially me from Texas. I
Nice.
mean, I used it a lot, and then sadly, it's one of those things that if you keep the saying of if you don't use it, you kind of lose it, and
Yeah.
it's very true,
Yes.
But yeah, no, I do know enough to order a taco with cheese, so
Nice.
And that's with cheese, so you got the extras right
yeah,
there, guys.
Oh,
yeah.
nice.
no cheese for Rolando.
No, yeah, no, that's a bad thing for Rolando.
That's a yeah.
Great deal. So, guys, again, social media. If anyone wants to get a hold of you guys or anybody wants to follow you guys, where can they look you guys up at? What platforms?
Well, we're pretty much on all of them. I don't know how active we are on all of them, but we're mainly on Facebook. We do some Instagram, but actually YouTube. We're trying to be more active on YouTube. But the handle is Rolando y Motivo. So Facebook.com/Rolando y Motivo, YouTube.com/Rolando y Motivo. We have a TikTok. There's only like 1 or 2 videos on there, but we're gonna try to start putting some more stuff on there. Perhaps we'll see. But yeah, our website is reviamusic.com. If you guys don't know how to spell Revia, it's right there on the screen, right there.
Right
and so reviamusic.com, and that is the website for both my recording studio and Motivo. So if anybody needs to get a hold of me or the band or whatever, that's the way to do it.
Great. Any last words from you, Aaron?
No. I see a lot of people getting on. Can we just go for another hour?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Everybody jumped on now.
There's a lot of people that are jumping on right now. Norma Salazar says hello, everyone, as well. So
Hello.
Hello, Norma and George. What a sense. Shout out going out to them.
One thing I did want to say when you played the Te Agradezco video, no one knows, but it was like 30 degrees, raining and snowing in the video. You wouldn't know, but we froze out there during that whole
Oh
video.
my God.
Freezing.
You
That
couldn't
fire-
tell whatsoever. You cannot tell. Wow.
That fire in that video was our best friend, let me tell you.
Yeah, we had a kerosene heater that was not doing anything.
Oh.
It was so gusty. The wind was blowing so bad that we had to park all of our trucks along the side of
over.
to try to block some of the wind. But man, it was cold.
It was real cold, yeah.
That was off the
Ese
cuff
fueron para allá hasta
location.
frío.
And the location it was an on the spot location. We made it work, set up, cut the video, and that's what you see.
Yeah, man. And shout out going out to Nate Jimenez, Javi Productions for shooting the video and doing a great job. He's our exclusive videographer. And so want to send a shout out going out to him for doing such a awesome job with our visuals and stuff. So
great deal. So everyone's excited about the Milwaukee Festival. Some people are on here as well. Vanessa Salinas Sanchez, is on as well. She's excited about it. Norma Salazar says that. Mr. Angel Flores, DJ Devilish LA Sounds in the house as well. What up, my brother?
Saludos.
Saludos.
What's up?
Yes, it's hard being
Milwaukee
just
Fest. Hey, call us. We want to go out there sometime.
You
there you
got our
go.
number.
There's the pitch.
Yeah,
It's hard being sexy
having
in
us
30-degree
come on.
weather. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's hard to be. Yes, it
Yeah.
really was. And that pond was cold too. We were thinking that we were going to get some good, lighting because it was golden hour and all that stuff. And we did get some cool lighting and some cool video, but man, it was cold.
It was
It
cold.
was so
And
cool.
wet.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, all the props, like everything in that video, it was just there. The lighting was there. We set up some lighting, but it just all worked out that day. It's one of my favorite videos we have.
Mhm.
Wow. Yeah. So we're definitely looking for more in the future from you guys. There's no doubt. With your production team that is behind you, that did a great job on the video as well, and all your videos, because I had an opportunity to upload a few of them. So they're amazing, man. So a big shout out
Thank
to
you.
your team as well for putting all that together and standing out there. You guys are doing all the work out there, standing out there in 30-degree weather. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that's the good stuff right there. And all for you guys out there, the fans, just so you guys can have a visual with their latest single as well. So that's the way it goes, you know. And it seems that Olivia Ray también says saludos. So I want to send a shout out to Olivia Ray. Thank you, Olivia, for tuning in as well. What it is about right now today in this time, because I know a few years ago, I would say 5 to 7 years ago, video wasn't a thing anymore. You know, it was like, you know, if you didn't have the budget, you couldn't do it, you know. But now it's almost everything's coming to the digital world. You almost have to have a visual now, a video along with your single because of the podcast shows, live shows, streaming shows, and whatnot. So it came back, and it came back stronger than ever, because back in the 90s, only there was a handful of bands who were able to put out videos. And that's if you had the money back then, to put one out. But yeah, it's a thing now. So that's great that you guys put your music, your singles out, and a visual to go along with it as well down the line. So yeah, props to you guys for doing that.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, one thing that at least for us that we've noticed is that the reason that we're doing music videos is because we live in a day and age where it's all about quick. It's all about people. You need to retain people, and so if the song is good but there's no visual, people won't give the song a chance.
Exactly.
And so whenever we try to release a visual at the same time that we release a song, because otherwise the song just kind of gets lost in the sauce. You know what I mean? Because everybody's releasing songs, so it's like it's almost a given that if we want the song to have any kind of momentum, we have to have a visual that goes with it. So. And I think a lot of that is because of the gigantic elephant in the industry, whether you guys call them Tejano or not, but Frontera, I think, is a big reason why a lot of people are doing visuals now, and and even just the arrangements, the way the songs are coming out, they're sounding I don't want to give away too much, but even in Te Agradezco, there's some elements that we kind of put in there that people wouldn't necessarily think that are attributed to, say, something like Frontera, but we try to keep people engaged, and so yeah,
it's all about engagement. That's what it is. People want
Yep.
that visual. People want to feel it. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Yep.
For sure. Any other questions you might have, Amanda, for these guys?
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate you guys taking the time here to join us here on Tejano Time, everybody over on Tejano TV as well. Thank you guys. And you guys can pick up this episode there, or you can also check it out on YouTube. That it'll be available as well to watch, and here on social media for a short time, because I know after 30 days now, Facebook wants to delete everything that you have, which is fine. We still got it on YouTube, so no worries. But yes, right now, Grupo Motivo is here with us here on Tejano Time. And guys, again, Rick, Aaron, Rolando, we appreciate you guys. I know you guys have a busy schedule. You guys have families. You guys have other things that you guys, would be doing right now. But taking the time to be with us here to share your music with our audience here is an honor to have you on the show. So thank you. We appreciate you so much.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
No,
Thank you.
thank you. The honor is ours. Thank you for having us on here, giving us a platform to, to talk a little bit about what we do and stuff like that. Because I mean, we obviously like playing music. We like doing what we do, but we don't really get to talk about it to, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Usually it's at the end of the night we're shaking hands or something, and but to be able to have a platform like this to kind of talk about, things, we appreciate it.
Yeah, no
Thank you so
problem.
much.
Yeah, one more thing I would like to say before we hopped off here. We've had some inquiries to come down and play in Texas, but I would love to get us down there. So if anyone um we could make it happen, it'd be great just to interact with the Texas fan base. It's just good to get,
Yeah, for
the
sure.
interaction. I'd love to get us out there. I know it's not always practical being that we're from out of state, but yeah, that's just
Yeah.
what I wanted to say
That's
about
that.
that.
That would be a great thing. That was another question. Sometime like I said, fanfare just came up and went already. A lot of bands sometimes make it down for fanfare and whatnot and perform. Not all, because again, it's at your own expense. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
sometimes
if you have a
it's
couch,
just
we'll sleep on it. It's fine.
right.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that I've literally slept on everybody except for Javier's couch. I just after the gig sometimes like I need to crash somewhere, and like I've slept on Rick's couch, on Aaron's
Yeah,
couch, on Joey's couch, on Ruben's couch.
Yeah.
I really have. So
That's how it
yeah,
is.
Aaron's not joking.
no.
Yeah.
There you go. So yeah, hopefully, man, someone will be out there. Any promoters that are out there as well, well, to get that pitch right there. These guys, Motivo, got great music. Bring them down here. There's a lot of great talent up there as well. So maybe again, and sometime here in Texas, you never know what's going to happen in the future. But we would love to have you guys down here somewhere in some part of Texas. Whether it be in Houston, San Antonio, somewhere where that someone is able to book you guys. But yes, they're open for that.
Somewhere I
So
can drive to,
reach them out there.
preferably.
Yeah. Somewhere where Amanda can drive to, right?
Yes.
We see Amanda. If you start heading north on where
No, sir. Y'all said y'all were freezing, 30-degree weather. You had me at that 30. No.
Uh-oh.
No, sir.
Great deal. So again, so go out and stream these guys, Motivo. Stream their music. It's available. They're on all platforms, guys, and check them out on their YouTube channel because again, they spend a lot of time on YouTube as well. You can check out all their videos they have there and maybe some performances that you guys from the past as well. That are up there. So go out there and check it out. Get a little feel for Motivo, and you never know, they'll be in your neck of the woods sometime soon. Hopefully, see those get it, in the future here in Texas. So be on the lookout. If not, if you're up in the area up there in the Midwest, look them up as well because these guys, again, sometimes they'll have a 4-day weekend, where they're out there playing, or maybe 1 or 2. You never know. Catch them out there. But yes, and Milwaukee Festival is another thing they threw a pitch to as well. That's something they're interested in playing and performing out there with those artists that go out there on it. But I wouldn't see why not. I mean, you guys are from up there, but again, they bring a lot from Texas to go up there. But I would
Great
showcase a
artists
lot
they
of
have.
yeah.
they're gonna have a good lineup this year.
And a huge turnout they get. I mean,
Yeah.
that complex is massive. I've yet to be to the Milwaukee Fest, but I'd like to go.
Let's
Just
do this
even
here,
attend it.
guys. Let's just go just to kick it.
Right now.
No, I mean now there's nothing going on right now.
Right now?
Right now, I'll order some pizza.
All-nighter.
Yeah, and I just want to wrap up too, just real quick, saying I want
Sure.
to send a shout out to my mom and my siblings who may or may not be watching, but I'm sure that they'll watch it later. And of course, the other guys in the band, whom we love very much, Joey, Ruben, and Javier. Thank you very much for all that you guys do, and thank you to all of our significant others for allowing us to be on the road and for allowing us to do what we do, and doing things like this, like the podcast and stuff. Thank you to.
Yeah, I'll get yelled at later about it.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, you got to give him for being on the show tonight as well, because you can hear it when you get off. Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah, I
guys,
got little ones.
yeah, and Rick had one too, right? Rick has one. You got a
Yeah.
little one, Rick. That
I
was,
got 2 little ones. Yeah.
two
So
little ones.
yeah, I got 2 little ones, but yeah, like Rolando said, big shout out to the significant others. I mean, my wife, she's huge supporter, been a huge supporter. Met her when I was with Stampede, and she just always has been a huge supporter, and so yeah, shout out to her, shout out to my family, and not not to take anything away, but primeramente a Diosito, he makes all of it possible, and so shout out
Amen.
to the big guy upstairs and a huge thanks for
Of
him
course.
from giving us the
Absolutely.
possibilities and opportunities.
There you go. All right. So once again, guys, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. You're welcome back anytime. We're always here for you guys. We got the platform is yours just as much as it is ours to share your music with our audience as well. So again, thank you and God bless you all.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Um,